During the Holocaust, there was more than just the Jews that were resisting the Nazis. Among the earliest opposers of Nazism were communists, socialists, and trade union leaders. Some Germans even opposed Nazism, such as Alfred Delp, Oskar Schindler, and Hans and Sophie Scholl. Alfred Delp, born in 1907, was a priest who organized one of the biggest Nazi-resistant groups known as the Creche Circle. The Creche Circle was an extensive resistant group that wanted to overthrow the Nazi regime. The main purpose of the Creche Circle was to plan and propose peace for the government. Alfred Delp also helped many Jews escape to Switzerland. Later on, Alfred Delp was arrested and executed. A smaller, less impactful resistor of the Nazis was Oskar Schindler. Oskar Schindler was a man who joined the Nazi Party and bought a factory in Poland. When he sensed the opportunity to make money and sheltered over 1,000 Jews in his factory, bribing Schutzstaffel officers to save them. One of the most important opposers of the Nazis were Hans and Sophie Scholl. Hans and Sophie were siblings that were highly active in the White Rose Resistance Group, a nonviolent group made up of the students of the University of Munich that opposed Nazism. The White Rose Group was known for their anonymous leaflet and graffiti campaign that lasted from the June of 1942 until February of 1943 and caused for the opposing of the Nazi Party. Sophie and Hans Scholl were convicted of high treason when they were found distributing anti-war leaflets at the university, and both were later executed by the guillotine. Also an active opposer of the Nazis was Charles de Gaulle. Charles Gaulle refused to swear allegiance with the Vichy regime in France and instead organized an open resistance against the Vichy regime. In 1941, both the Communist and Gaullist resistance movement developed. Both performed acts of sabotage and violent assaults on German officials. While some openly resisted the Nazis, others were less courageous and facing conflict. Hitler and the Nazi Party had taken occupation of Denmark, leading to a panic that fell over the Danish Jews as Hitler ordered an arrest of all Danish Jews. Instead of waiting to be taken away, the Danish fled the country, evacuating 7,220 of 7,800 Jews, along with 686 non-Jewish spouses, to the neutral country of Sweden. Kindertransport was also a way of getting Jewish children out of the horror of being captured and taken to a concentration camp. Kindertransport was a rescue mission headed by the United Kingdom that took around 10,000 Jewish children from Germany, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Poland, and the Free City of Danzig from 1938 to 1940. They were then placed in foster homes, hostels, schools, and farms around Great Britain. Many other countries were also adamant in their resistances, such as the Dutch that went on strike for their arrests and brutal treatment of the Jews, the Slovaks underground leaders' uprising, the Czechs agents who assassinated a Nazi general, and the Romanian gypsies armed with axes and knives who refused to leave their barracks at the Auschwitz gypsy family camp. Jehovah's Witnesses also refused Nazism by holding illegal study groups in concentration camps and refusing to serve in the German army. Defiance against the Nazi control wasn't only a business that the Jews took up by themselves. Many others backed them in this Nazi opposition, and because of this, many lives were saved.